Hello and welcome to For Heaven's Sake, a Seventh Heaven podcast. We are your co-hosts, Lady J.
And T.
How are you, T?
I'm okay. And how are you?
Is that you trying not to be great?
Yeah. I'm trying. I keep forgetting.
I'm okay too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I've been better, but I'm good.
Yeah. I like it. You're pushing through it.
I'm powering through, man. The show waits for no one.
Show
That's the way I see it.
On.
If we didn't record this right today, nothing would go up on Monday.
Oh, that's true. You're welcome.
Hey, let me say. Ugh. Can we just talk about for a second that Moana was not that good?
Oh.
I feel like the Disney movies lately have not been that good.
I love Coco.
That's true, but that was Pixar.
Wait.
It was.
Oh.
I'm almost positive it was Pixar.
I know is it?
Yeah.
No, but Disney Coco, yeah.
I mean, I know Pixar is also Disney, but like there's like the Disney movies and then there's Pixar movies. Like Moana was a Disney movie.
Interesting.
And like it wasn't that good. Frozen, not that good, people.
Oh man, you're breaking a lot of hearts.
I'll be the first person. I will go to my grave saying that Frozen was a garbage piece of crap.
I know. I'm not a fan of Frozen.
Like as bad as Moana was, like Frozen was worse.
But the music was pretty in Moana.
It was all right.
It was pretty. But I will say, I got extremely emotional when I saw Grandma coming in. When Grandma...
In Moana?
Yeah. When she, like, her spirit animal is, like, coming under the boat.
Oh, yeah.
I got all the feels. I was like, wow, yeah, that was so really pretty.
The water stuff was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think I take issue with, like, the Disney model of storytelling.
Yes.
To begin with.
Same.
Especially as an adult, you know, like with like a reasonable modicum of taste or whatever in my movie watching. Like, it's just, there's not enough development. There's not enough like the climax and resolution of these films like is so quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just kind of like all happens so hastily.
I agree.
It doesn't feel like worth it. You know what I mean?
I still want to understand who the fuck those trolls are in Frozen.
Dude, no, I'm not even talking about Frozen. Like, I cannot have a discussion about Frozen. It will be the entire podcast. Like,
I know.
We should do a Patreon episode about Frozen, though.
True.
Just so that I can get it all out once and for all.
You know, I'm down.
And record it for posterity.
I'm down. But yeah, Coco. Oh.
Coco was beautiful. It was cute. Really cute. And it totally got me, man.
Yeah, it did.
Like twice it got me where I was just like bawling in tears. It was super cute.
I think my favorite though is when he puts all the makeup on him and then he's walking. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, walking like you. I don't walk like that. Yeah, you do. You just so cute.
Very cute. It was sweet. Yeah, why did we talk? Oh, because you said you're welcome.
All of that happened just because you're welcome.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
That scans.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, man.
I guess we should talk about Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh.
I know. Barf.
Dude, I barely have any notes because that's how much I hated this episode.
Same. I didn't hate this episode. I just am finding it very difficult to like talk about it. Like, I don't really know what there is to say. It's kind of just like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, I don't know what there is to say about it. This is episode 1012 titled Got MLK.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like a clever pun on got milk, I guess. The Amazon Prime spoilie is Martin's caught in a racist controversy. Okay. The DVD description gives us a little bit more and says, after Martin interferes with Ruthie's class assignment on great African Americans, someone writes racist remarks on his car, which he then refuses to remove.
Yeah.
Which paints the worst picture of Martin.
Yeah.
This whole description is like, first of all, wrong.
Yeah.
And second of all, makes him seem like he's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
What the fuck?
He was kind of funny in this episode, only because remember how we said he
is like sticks to his guns and is stubborn.
Yeah. Throughout the entire episode, I'm like, bro, just clean it.
I know. But okay, part of me though totally gets it.
Oh yeah.
Like, because that's what the fucking coward that did that wants. You know what I mean? Like he wants to have written what he wrote and said what he said, and then for it to all go away and like, you know, for Martin to have gotten the message or whatever. And it's like, no, you deserve to be dragged through the mud and to have to clean it yourself because you're a fucking ignorant, bigoted, dumb fuck, you know? And like, I get it. Like if I'm Martin, I probably don't want to be driving my car around.
Exactly.
But like, I get the principle of like not wanting to clean it himself. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I got that. Especially when what was it? Oh, that came in with the detective, the hate crime.
Oh God, that guy was so weird.
He's looking at him. He's like, "You should clean your car."
They found the most like Law and Order extra guy,
dude,
to like come and do this cameo moment where he's supposed to have this like gravitas, you know, so as the
funny.
hate crime division detective,
dude.
Like
this show.
And okay, and I know we're laughing. I need it to be said, and I feel like our listeners at this point know us, and like this is not the first time we've said this on this podcast, but like we're not trying to take this stuff lightly, like at all. We know that it's like an actual problem and it's an actual like issue today in our country. Also recognizing like neither of us are people of color. Yeah. So like we're not authorities in any way, like, you know, and on these types of concerns or whatever, like we're just citizens of this world who see what we see and absorb what we absorb, and here we are talking about it. So, so basically what really happens, DVD description, is Ruthie's giving a report or whatever on a great American. Yeah. And so she's recycling a previously written report on Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah. Because like, why not? Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't care. Yeah. Like, whatever. If it's not the same teacher, and that teacher who wrote that report for isn't around anymore, like who cares? Yeah. Like, it's not like you're in college where you're like putting this stuff through turnitin.com or whatever. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like it's an innocent, victimless crime. Like, who gives a shit? Also, too, I want to talk about this. If the teacher's goal, right, is to like teach these kids about great Americans or like American history and like great people who have helped shape it or whatever. Yeah. Right? Like, how is this a school? Like, how is this a school work? Like, what? I'm not using English properly. I'm trying to say, like, as a teacher, where do you get off saying the curriculum is everybody pick somebody and do a report? Yeah. Like, where's the curriculum? Like, how is anyone going to learn anything? What if 5 people all chose George Washington? Exactly. Like, where's the, you know, like, how are we learning anything just by doing a report on somebody? You know what I mean? Like, it's not even. Yeah. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
It's true. It doesn't make sense because whenever we were in school, they would explain to us like the protocol of what we should look for and what we're going to report on.
That's right.
That's how it was.
That's right. It's like if this was true curriculum, like you would have assigned people to people. You know what I mean? And said like, okay, Ruthie, you're going to do so and so. You're going to do so and so. And therefore, we're all going to learn something. You know what I mean? You don't just go write a report on somebody. Like, this makes sense. Like, just, again, it's a suspension of disbelief thing, but whatever.
Yeah, but also, then why do you have a problem that she recycled like her same fucking paper?
I know. It's like, what's it to you? Like,
maybe there's another layer to her that we know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, truly, what's it to you, Miss Teacher Person? Yeah. You know? Anyway. And also, how did she know? Really? Yeah.
Was she her?
Like, was it such a pedestrian report that she was like, oh, you clearly wrote this in 5th grade? Like, come on. Anyway, so then this other kid in class gets up and he's like, I want to do it about Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah. And he barely gets like 2 words out, okay? And she like flips out on him after having flipped out on Ruthie. Okay? Yeah. Like, see me after class or whatever.
My report is on the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. he was a great American because...
Excuse me, Alex. Martin Luther King Day was last Monday. We covered Martin Luther King the Friday before the holiday. This week, we're doing reports on great Americans.
But Martin Luther King is a great American.
That's true. Of course. But I'm not going to let you use last week's work for this week's assignment.
It's just that I don't think we can cover Martin Luther King's whole life in one day.
I understand. But that wasn't the assignment. You'll have to find someone else.
But this is a report I want to give.
Why don't you sit down? And we'll discuss this after school.
Like, okay, I have to give the show props here. Because the obvious takeaway
is like, she's the racist.
She's the problem, right? But immediately, or not immediately, but like after Martin sticks his foot in it, like it becomes clear that like her problem is not the subject. It's the fact that like, you know, where's the work? Like, like that's truly all she cares about is like from Ruthie, it's like, you just recycled a paper from 5 years ago. Like, I need to see that you put the work in. With this kid, it's like, well, while she might not be correct necessarily about his level of work he did on this paper or whatever, like, she's like, okay, but we've already covered this topic. So, like, I want to see that you're learning about something new or different or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily that it's about Martin Luther King Jr. It's that we've done this subject already.
Exactly.
But again, if it's curriculum, assign something to somebody. Don't leave it up to chance, because then you're going to have this problem or whatever. You know what I mean? Ugh, anyway. So then Martin, well, no. Okay. Basically, she's like, if you don't change your paper, you're going to fail or whatever.
Something like that.
And so Martin hears that.
Oh, no. And he decides to take it up with the principal. And then that's when he comes out. And then Martin bugs him, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because basically, like, Ruthie's waiting to talk to the teacher in the hallway. Martin bumps into her in the hallway.
That acting was fantastic.
Oh, I know. Like,
am I listening? Can I hear it? My eyes are going...
So stupid. She's like basically just pacing outside the door and like listening to everything. Long story short, Martin's in the hallway with this kid. I wish
Alex.
I knew this. Thank you, Alex, and the teacher. And Martin's flipping out because he's like, dude, if you fail this paper, you're not going to play baseball. And like, we need you. And like, you're the best shortstop or whatever he fucking says.
Yeah.
And so... And Martin's whole thing is like, dude, like, who gives a shit? Just change your paper. Like, nothing's more important than baseball right now or whatever. Like, least of all MLK or whatever. So when the teacher hears that, she's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Okay. Scratch that noise. You will do your paper on MLK, and everyone in the class is going to do their paper on a great African American.
Yeah.
Just to be like, fuck you, this is important or whatever.
Basically.
So you're like, which isn't even a fuck you to Martin, because Martin's not even in that class.
I know.
Like, who cares?
Everybody else has to do their work all over again, which meaning they can't recycle. So
So funny. And I love how it's like a running theme. Like, everybody in this episode has basically, or admits to basically having recycled their papers. Like, what's his name in the locker room says
George
it.
Washington.
Rose even says it about Sojourner Truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically, like, Alex is happy because he gets to deliver the paper he wanted to deliver, but no one else is happy because they have to do a whole new report now.
Exactly.
And so it comes to like its confrontation in the locker room where Alex is all like, man, thanks, Martin. Like, thanks to Martin, I get to give the paper I want to give. And then everyone else is like, thanks to Martin, I got to write a fucking paper I didn't want to write. You know, like.
That's how everybody talks in the locker room.
Well, so poor Martin's like caught in this thing that he really, like, I don't know. Is it fair to blame him for any of this? I don't think so.
No.
Why the teacher felt so compelled. I honestly don't even know. Like, I'm like, okay, Martin shouldn't have said anything, but then why did the teacher decide to change the assignment at the last minute? Like, to prove what point? Like, I don't know. The whole thing is just kind of like, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a made up problem to then have to solve it. You know what I mean?
It's funny. Everybody is like, The teacher didn't even have the opportunity to announce it to the class to tell them that they're going to work on the paperwork. It was rumors.
The rumor mill.
So
she made this up in the middle of the night, after class hours, after school hours. She's like, tomorrow, I'm going to tell everyone to redo their papers. By the next morning, parents have complained.
Yeah.
Like the whole school is up.
Oh yeah, people. Wait a minute, didn't Reverend? What the fuck? Didn't Eric come to school to talk to Miss Porter
about the assignment because it caused the Martin car problem.
Did it cause a Martin car problem
because
already
the Martin
at that
car
point?
problem happened that day. So
But didn't it happen after he talked to Miss Porter? Like he comes out and that's when he sees his car?
No.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is the locker room confrontation happens between Martin and all the boys. And then after practice, he's leaving to go home.
Yeah.
And they see this shit on his car.
Okay, you're right.
So then, of course, he immediately brings it. He takes his car home because what's he gonna do?
What do you mean even home? He takes it to the fucking Camdens.
Well, right, but they live across the street.
Okay, fine. Number 2, house number 2.
It's his previous home. So he brings it to the Camdens. He parks it in presumably Kevin's driveway. No, it's Eric's driveway.
Yeah.
Right. It's all so confusing now. There's like 3 different houses in the mix. It's all weird. Anyway, so he parks it in Eric's driveway and like they're like looking at it. What I have to give them credit for, well, I give it to them and then I take it right away, is like they didn't show it.
Yeah.
Except at the end where they basically showed it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you waited, like you went this whole 44 minutes without showing it to us.
Yeah.
And then you showed it to us?
Yeah.
What was that about?
It'd been nice to have not seen it.
I know.
At all.
Especially because it was so obvious what it was. And then it was in fact what it was so obviously is. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on. Like, it's just like, just dumb. Anyway, whatever. So Eric's just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened in our little snow globe. Like, what the hell?
This snow globe. It's happened 5 or 6 times in your show.
Dude, it's happened so many times. Let's not forget the episode where somebody called, what's that little boy's name? Nigel.
Oh,
the N-word on the playground when they were like 5 years old, dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
If that shit was going down that many years ago, like, why are you surprised this happened right now?
Seriously.
Like, really, dude? Like, he's like, oh my God, this is so hateful.
The heartbreaking look on his face.
Yeah, he was about to, like, break down and fall to his knees and cry.
Yeah.
Like, he's dumb. So they're like, and I love how they just keep everybody who sees
and
it,
you
it's
drove
like,
around?
you just drove here like this?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like, yeah, I didn't have a choice. And then they're like, did you?
I mean, the poor kid though, like, I get it. Like, like he wanted to show it to somebody. Like, you can't just wash it off and then it's like it never happened. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, it's a catch-22. Like, you're fucked either way, you know? But the best is when Lucy is at the church.
Yes.
And she's calling Lou because they have to come up with, like, something really different and cool for the church fundraiser.
So different.
Cut to, what did they do that was so different? They fucking a car wash. Anyway. But she's in the office and she's like brainstorming or whatever, and she gets the call from the best little old lady this side of the Mississippi.
I'm sorry he's not here. Is there something I can help you with?
Well, you know, it's fun. I always thought that it would be one of the boys who would follow your father into the ministry. And you're not just doing this to make up for Mary, are you, honey?
No.
I was just wondering.
Anything I can help you with, Mrs. Bink?
Yeah, you can tell me what that Martin's problem is.
Yeah. So I cut that clip the way that I cut it for a specific reason, and I might just play it again. What is Lucy's problem?
With Miss Bink?
Do you hear the attitude,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What the fuck?
But yeah, that's the part that I find weird too. That why do you have a problem with Miss Bink?
She's like,
she's the one that
can
set her
I
up with her
help
husband.
you? I know, like, where did this animosity come from? Like, sorry, someone called the office. Like, what's your problem, Luce?
Yeah.
And there's nothing, like, it's not like there's this B story where Lucy's dealing with some shit. No,
Yeah,
she's
no.
just, this is the first time we're seeing her on the screen. She's just in the office and Bink calls and she's like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Like, no, actually, you can't. Bye. Like, geez.
That's what she should have said.
But so what, again, Bink's like, what's wrong with Martin? Because she saw him driving the car. And she says, like, there were some remarks on his car. And Lucy's like, what kind of remarks? And she's like, bad remarks. And she's like, again, what kind of bad? Like, Lucy's just not getting it. Which, why would your brain go there? You know what I mean? And so finally Bink's like, remarks of an insensitive nature or whatever she says. And so Lucy has to be like, oh shit, okay. And that's when she calls Ruthie to be like, what the hell? Do you know anything? And that's when Ruthie goes out there. At this point, everyone is out there. Kevin's out there. Eric's out there. Ruthie's out there.
Everyone's seeing this car.
Captain Michaels comes in at some point with the hate crime detective. The whole town, the whole Camden clan is up in arms about this car tagging that has occurred. And so they're like, clean your car. And Martin's like, absolutely not. The guy that did this is gonna clean my car.
Yeah.
So that's when it's like, oh, zoom in, fade out, like ba ba ba, you know, like what's gonna happen?
Man, that score every time.
So then we see Martin, and again, I feel like I need to like slow it down, like, because we're like halfway through the episode already.
Yeah,
because this is all that happens in this episode.
It is like there's no growth. There's
no
nothing.
other stories for anybody. Is there?
No, nothing.
Well, except so like the B story, if anything, is like Ruthie trying to figure out who she's gonna do her paper on or whatever.
Yeah.
So she decides she's gonna do it on Sojourner Truth.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know anything about her. So she has like this book or whatever about her or something. And then she calls
Simon.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then we get a glimpse of like the college kids, right? And I kind of appreciated this because I thought it was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Or interesting is not the right word. I thought it was a good choice because they're having a very like racially charged conversation in this episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're hearing terms thrown around like hate crime and like reverse racism, which I could write a fucking book on that shit. But like they're having a very like sociologically like, you know, central like focused conversation in this episode.
Yeah.
And I think that it was like a pointed and like cool choice on BH's part, like to then cut to the college kids, you know, who hear about what happened, right? And then are having their own like uncomfortable moment with it because one of their girls in their study group is a black girl, you know? And Simon's all like fidgety and doesn't know how to say that there's been a hate crime or whatever.
Basically.
And then you have this girl who's like, she's like, okay, like I'm not like the spokesperson for all black people, like whatever, you know, she's like not taking it personally, which why would she? And like all this stuff, you know? And I thought it was like, okay, interesting, right? Like we've got the snow globe perspective and then we're seeing what it's like when you have a higher education where your world is a little bit bigger. You're not like all like closed off, you know, whatever.
Exactly.
It was cool. And then not to mention, and once again, like Point Rose, like is she supposed to get brownie points because she did she did essays on Sojourner Truth her whole life, and like,
I know about her.
Like nobody expected it because she's Rose, but like she ends up being the most helpful person to Ruthie in this moment. Like I swear to God, if they 180 me on this Rose bitch, I don't know.
It ain't happening.
I just don't know.
It's not happening for me. If Simon ends up married and in love with this bitch, and even if they make her a great character, I still hate her.
Like, I can't. Did you see Tennessee on Instagram? He was commenting.
Oh, dude,
on our last post as of this recording.
Like he wants to hate someone. I get it.
He's like, don't you flip her on me because I don't know. Like I've come too far hating her.
Yeah, seriously,
to not hate her anymore.
It's not
true.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was your We Hate Rose segment for the day.
All the hashtags every time yeah.
I know, your hashtags are awesome. Guys, I know I've said it on social media before, but for those who don't know, T handles all of our Instagram posts. Those hashtags you guys see, like, that's all her.
I'm just trying to figure
money.
out every time when it comes to Rose, I'm like, what can I say now? Hate her.
I love it. I live for your hashtags Mondays and Thursdays.
She's really the worst.
She is the worst. The worst.
Every time the time that I've used that hashtag, I'm singing it.
You should put the little music symbols around it. So anyway, that's all what's happening with Ruthie, basically.
Yeah.
And then, so basically Martin comes to school the next day, hasn't washed his car.
But covered it.
Yeah, he has put like a sign or whatever on top of it that says like, hey, coward, clean up your mess or whatever, which... cool, like elegant solution to the problematic nature of driving around with slurs on your car.
Exactly.
You know, while still proving a point, or like making a point rather. So he's just like standing in the parking lot, like next to his car, like waiting for someone to like claim their handiwork, I guess.
And no one would claim that.
I know, that's the thing.
Come on, Martin,
like,
you know better.
Well, but see,
make a statement. Yes.
Because, okay, this is the thing though. Like, Martin is so sure it's Brad because...
Yeah.
And the audience kind of is led to think that as well.
Yeah,
because
of
he's
course.
the only, like, quote-unquote bad guy we've seen in this episode. You
I
know?
thought it was Brad.
I totally did too. And, like, you wouldn't put it past him because he's so fucking, like, butthurt about having to redo his George Washington paper or whatever. You know?
Again.
So he comes through. He rolls through with his like homies and stuff. Yeah. And like he sees Martin and he's like, oh, hey, nice car, dude, or whatever.
Basically.
And so like totally like egging Martin on. Yeah. And Martin's like already assumes it's him. So when he says that, he like loses his shit. Yeah. And so Martin's like, oh man, like what the fuck? Like you did this to my car, like clean it up, whatever.
I wish they said, oh, what the fuck?
I know. So and then that's when the principal or the vice principal or whoever who's
the substitute principal, because apparently the other principal's out of town.
Why did they have to make that such a point? I don't even know who the fucking principal is anyway.
I have to keep things under control while the principal is out of town.
Like they were so adamant about making that a point. Like this is not the principal; it's the vice principal who's taking charge. Like.
Wait, is the principal supposed to be female? Is that why? And they couldn't bring her in this time?
I don't know, but does it matter?
I don't know.
Why did it matter?
It's to do with your bring a new principal.
Like,
I don't care.
I know. Like, do we even know? Like, have we ever met the principal? Who gives a shit? Like,
I love how this episode we're
stupid.
focusing on the details of shit that doesn't.
Because no, this is
they do it.
They made us care about this detail because they kept fucking harping on it. Like,
exactly.
Like from minute one, when Alex wants to complain to the principal, the teacher's like, "Well, it's the vice principal because the principal's out of town."
Seriously.
And then when Eric comes to talk to the teacher, and she's like, "Let's talk to the principal." Well, it's the vice principal because the principal's out of town. Like, okay, dude, cool. Who cares?
Yep.
Anyway. So then vice principal dude is like, you need to get this car out of here because it's a problem. Yeah. Like you wash it or get rid of it. Kind
exactly.
Of thing.
And he said no.
And Martin's like, I'm not washing it. I'm not moving it. I have every right to park in this parking lot. Da, 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 da. So then they're like, we're going to have to tow it. Yeah. So then they call the guy to tow it. And like, sure enough, the tower is a black man. Yep. And Martin's like, how could you do this? Like, how could you tow this car? Like, don't you know what this is about? And the black man's like, I'm just doing my job. I feel so bad calling him the black man. I don't know his name. A named tower. Yeah. Literally, his name is Tower in the thing.
Oh, great.
So the tower's like, I'm just doing my job, man. Like, they call me, I tow. Like, I got no horse in this race. Fair, right? Yeah. But then Martin's like, no, you should come and see what this is about. Yeah. So they pull this man around to the back of the car to see it, and he's like, "Well, that's some shit."
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, now it's personal.
Now it's different." So then he like unhooks the car from the towing mechanism, and the principal's like, "What are you doing, man? You got to tow the car." And he's like, "No, I don't."
Yeah, just leaves. And in my head, I'm like, all I'm thinking is, I hope he doesn't lose his job over this shit. You get what I mean?
I know. Like,
because you think about like
in 2018, that would be the story that
number
we
one
watch.
Yelp review right there.
I know. Ugh.
Fire
worst.
this guy. He bought
Fucking
whatever.
worst. I know. Ugh. I can't. No, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. So, long story short,
It's a fight.
it's a fight. It becomes a fallout brawl. The cops are there. Everyone's involved. The news people are there because now all of a sudden it's a news story because
Yeah.
it's Glen Oak. And so that's how, and then you cut back to the college kids and they're watching Martin on the
Yeah.
news. I want to play this a little bit.
Simon, what are you doing? We're studying.
Is that Martin?
You took a stand so that your classmate could give a speech on Martin Luther King. Was it worth it?
I really didn't do anything.
Good old Martin. Always doing things he doesn't want to take credit for.
Well, some are saying that you're a hero and humble to boot.
For the last time, I'm not a hero. Not being modest, I didn't do anything.
That's the baby's father?
That's the one.
Seems like a pretty good guy to me, standing up for the brother man like that. Simon, maybe you should get Martin to help Ruthie with a report on Sojourner Truth.
I know who Sojourner Truth is.
Unbelievable.
Why? Because I'm white?
It sounds so good, actually. Like you playing it back. I'm like, God, this is a stupid scene.
It's the greatest. This might be my favorite scene of the whole episode. It's just these
Why? 'Cause I'm
four
white.
kids. They're all in their own world.
Yeah.
Sandy's just tripping about how Martin doesn't want to take credit for something else. Maya's like, oh damn, like he cool, like he's standing up, whatever.
Yeah.
Rose is just like, I need credit for writing essays about Sojourner Truth, and Simon could give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Unbelievable.
he's not even talking to her when he
No.
says that.
Exactly. He has his back to her.
That's the best part.
Rose, this isn't even about you.
It's the greatest. I love it.
Oh,
It's just truly so good.
this show.
So then, after the fighting happens and Martin gets his 15 seconds of fame, what happens? Nothing. Basically, they never catch who did it.
No, they don't. They go to church. Alex
gives a talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why he wants to carry on the legacy of Martin Luther King because of his grandfather and how he was actually part of the walk.
Right.
So he goes into it and how he's really connected with his grandfather and how he wants to set a good example. If you, anything, it's just so sweet and so touching of the relationship he had with his grandfather.
Well, right. And then it becomes, and then again, what I appreciated is like, then they sort of pull a fast, I don't want to say pull a fast one, but I like how they then bring it into the present, right? Because like we said, this is not the first time they've tackled this issue on the show.
No.
It's not the first time stuff like this has happened in Glen Oak or whatever. But what's different and what makes it important to tell the story in January 2006 is like Katrina had just happened.
Yes.
And like we won't get into it, but we can say that there were some racially charged things happening with that, right? And so this kid, he talks about how his grandfather and he talks about why MLK is so meaningful to him in his life. It's because the story of his grandfather had been there with him and all that stuff. And then Katrina like took his grandfather's life.
Yeah.
And so now like for Alex, this whole thing is just all wrapped up in one, like talking about MLK and keeping that message alive and like bringing that knowledge and that awareness about his grandfather, like his paper on MLK, as far as I'm concerned, would have been just as much about his grandfather as it was about MLK. You know what I mean? Had he been given the chance to present it in the end, you know? Which I feel like maybe his talk was his paper a little bit, whatever. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. So like, again, crafty way of like making it a meaningful and like worthwhile thing to talk about. Yeah. As far as in the meta sense, like on the show, you know what I mean? Like I appreciated that they were like, okay, well, we're not just going to tackle race for race's sake, like, you know, or for tackling its sake. Like, this is prevalent and this is like relevant
Yeah.
right now, you know, so like it's worth it kind of thing. It's fine.
And then we find out that Brad didn't do it.
Yeah,
and Alex
but
and
he
Brad
says he
can
didn't do
probably be friends because they have
hope
something in
so.
common, apparently.
I hope so. And then the car wash is happening, but we can't forget. So,
Oh, yes.
the C story, if you will, of this episode is the twins.
Yeah.
Basically being introduced to race relations in this
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, basically.
So because they understand that something happened with Martin, they don't understand all the ins and outs of it, obviously, but
Yeah.
it comes down to like somebody said something about somebody because of the color of their skin or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And so the twins are like, well, what color are we? And they're like putting crayons up to their faces to see what color they are and all that
Yeah.
shit, whatever. And because they're kids and they're stupid.
Because they're kids and they're stupid.
I mean, let's face it. They're not the brightest bulbs in the shed anyway.
Why? What color am I?
Their dad's like, okay, basically we're white. And he holds up the white
He's
crayon.
like, I don't think
oh,
so.
We tested this one already. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so they're in church.
Yeah.
And Bink's there. And they're like, I'm just going to play it.
Yeah,
It's so
dude,
good.
play it.
Mrs. Bink, what color are you?
Oh, boys, leave Mrs. Bink.
It's okay. What color? You want to know what color I am? Well, that's a tough one. Let me see. I get. When I'm sad, I'm blue, and when I'm mad, I'm red, and when I'm jealous, I'm green with envy. And now that I'm at my age, see, all anybody notices is that I'm turning gray.
She's so cute.
She's the greatest.
I love how she always sounds like a lush.
She does.
yeah.
She's so drunk all the time. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Like, remember how we were saying she should have been in the Christmas episode
Yeah.
at the old folks home? Like, I'm so glad we got her in this one.
I know.
Because, like, I had missed her, man.
I know.
Like,
It'd been a hot minute.
it had. I don't think we've seen her all season.
No.
And, like,
is the first
halfway through, finally, we get a glimpse of Bink. Yeah, she just brings me life. I love her so much. Part of what I also liked, like, we talked about how the episode does a decent job of, like, showing us, like, okay, like, outside of the bubble of Glen Oak, right? Like, we've got the college kids and, like, that side of thinking or, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Bink, too, like, repping, like, the older generation,
Yeah.
kind of, like, where she comes from, like, mentally, you know, like,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like, where, like, the perspective that she's bringing to
Exactly.
the table.
Sorry, I was just watching the news, and we have to do something about it.
Yes, I completely agree with.
What are the police doing about it? Isn't that husband of yours a cop? Let me speak to him.
Kevin isn't a police officer anymore. He stays home with Savannah.
Oh, that's right. You're a reverend, and he stays home and takes care of the kid, huh?
Yes, that works for us.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny how things change and others don't. Like this thing at the school. See, I'm old enough to see how these things can go, honey. You can't sit by and do nothing. So what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we going to do?
I love her.
Don't you just want to, like scoop her up?
Yeah.
And just, like, love her? Like, I don't know. She's so awesome.
That's a grandma to have.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am her. Like, I am going to age into a Bink character for sure.
She's the
Like,
greatest.
can't you just hear me saying that to, like, somebody 40 years younger than me, being like, I've been around long enough to see how all this can go, honey.
Yeah. I watched Seventh Heaven.
But I love it because, like, she's right. Like, what she's basically saying is, like, I was around in the 60s.
Yeah.
I saw how the shit was then. I'm seeing how shit is now. And if she was alive right now in 2018 or 2019, she'd be saying the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, I get it, you know? And she's
Yeah.
not wrong. And I thought, again, for an episode that didn't have a lot going on,
Yeah.
like, I thought it was, like, an interesting way to tell a story. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I thought that it wasn't the most biggest waste of time, you know?
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Like, just there was some art to it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was definitely better than the other episodes that we've seen that when they tried to tackle this issue.
Yeah.
This is maybe their best one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, and of course it ends as just as cheesy as ever, you know?
I mean,
the car washing and whatever. It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like along the way we got some gems, you know?
Bink,
the hilarious scene of the college kids. And then oh god, it ends with like another montage of like kids doing their papers, right?
Oh yes. Oh, when I saw that, I was like, okay, we're gonna talk about this for sure.
I don't have a clip of it because like why? But it's just like 5 or 6 kids like in a row, just like going up there and like my paper's on so and so,
mine's on George Washington, Carver. Like
one was on Frederick Douglass, Snatch, Harriet Tubman, I believe. Obviously Sojourner Truth. I can't recall any other names. I feel bad, but I don't know how many more, if any, there were. But you know, it's just they kind of do it's like a lip service to. Well, here they are giving their their speeches or their presentations or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just
that's it.
It's just a fine I mean, it's just there. Yeah, like it's okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
Basically,
like I don't hate it, but for like it seems a little odd. Well, you know what though? It's not that odd. Like I was gonna say, like kind of a waste of an episode in your final season. To not have any plot development. Like especially coming out of a break, like out of a hiatus, like because this was the first episode back in the new year after the Christmas break and stuff. So like, it's not exactly the most like, we're back for the triumphant back half of our season, episode. So it's just like, okay. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you did it. Congrats.
Yeah, nothing to say about it.
Yeah. Any extra observations on your end?
No, just only that, love Miss Bink.
Oh, we didn't talk about Captain Michael's I don't know how to say this, but like he I know it's not on purpose. And I know that I don't even think the writer's room knew or did this on purpose as a joke. Like, it's just funny how it sounds when you hear it.
Reverend Martin
Luther King Jr. like just like the ironic coincidence or whatever of this episode is that it's about Martin Luther King Jr. and we have a Reverend and a Martin in this episode, like
it's true.
But yeah, I think like that's all I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, sorry guys. I know this wasn't the most thrilling episode ever, but
yeah,
it is. We work with the materials we're given. Okay, we play the hands we're dealt.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the next episode will be more exciting.
I would hope so.
I hope so. So let's rate it.
You know what? Thumb up, thumb down. I don't like it. It's fine. But it's one of those, I think it's one of their better ones when they try to tackle this issue.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well. That's my stance on it too. Like, it doesn't quite rise to the level of a 2 thumb down. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's just on this side of good enough where I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Like, I'll allow it. But watch yourself. Brenda Hampton.
She needs to always watch herself.
Keep one eye open, honey.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, so that's gonna do it for us, folks. As always, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Social media, you know where to find us. You can write to us at forheavensakeshow@gmail.com. We're going to be gearing up to do a recap pretty soon. So now is your chance to turn in those questions and those thoughts. And, you know, we love to read you guys' emails and ponder upon the things that you bring up, especially in the recaps, because it's a good forum for that.
Yeah.
So send in your questions, your thoughts, your comments. That's forheavensakeshow@gmail.com. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/4 Heaven's Sake Pod. Just like all the social media. We've got like 2 tiers on there now. We have the $1 a month Keep the Lights On tier, which is a super affordable and super like easy way for our listeners to contribute and like basically make sure that this podcast can stay on your streaming platforms like
basically
forever, or at least for long after we're done doing it. And then for $5 a month, we have the Heaven Head tier, and that gives you access to 2 bonus episodes a month of live commentary on movies that T has seen that I have not.
But I guess we need to add Frozen.
That's true. We will.
That's our soapbox.
We will do a Frozen special at some point. Should we wait and do it like at Christmas time this year?
Damn. I mean, yeah, it's possible.
But it's not a Christmas movie, so fuck that noise. We'll do it sometime soon. Maybe for my birthday.
Ooh, so birthday talk shit. Awesome.
Maybe for my birthday, my gift to all of you will be my soapbox rant about Frozen.
Perfect.
That could be fun.
That would be fun.
Okay. We'll keep that in our back pocket. Anyway, so that's the patreon.com/For Heaven's Sake Pod. That's the number 4. And then the rest is all spelled out, Heaven's Sake Pod. All that stuff's in the liner notes. You know where to find it. We love you. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.